Yeah,
you're going to have to hold it.
They're not really omnidirectional. Yeah, let's just hold it.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. You're profesh.
We need to get you a little thin prices right, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a suit.
Bob Barker stick
A little sexy suit for Lawrence.
As long as you cut the nipples out.
Yeah, girl.
Hello, everyone.
Right into it.
Welcome to the Inside Gaming Podcast, episode number 42 for January 15th, 2015.
We're back, baby.
We never left.
Yeah, we are. We did one last week.
We
guys.
do one once a week.
Yeah, I know, but we haven't been here for a week. We haven't done a podcast for a whole week. So
James is
We're
correct.
not really back.
We're back, baby.
Always do this.
Spool.
We're back, gamers.
Spool.
That's his new catchphrase.
You're not allowed to talk. Well, you answer this question and then you're not allowed to talk anymore.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
What's your boast your most favorite and least favorite robot master from the Mega Man series?
Cutter Man.
Wrong.
Great.
You asked first if you ask if Proto Man counts, and if he says yes, then Proto Man is the answer. Otherwise, it's Elect Man.
Hey, this is my villain.
Like,
Who's that
he's
guy?
like a
Bob
politician?
guy?
No, well, his name is Elect Man, even though he's electric.
So you don't elect him?
So the answer is Elect Man. Final answer.
There we go. Election is correct. Good job, James. You get 15 Inside Gaming points.
Yeah.
Spool, you're at -5.
I don't get to talk anymore.
Yeah, you get to talk again when you get back to positive. It's going to take a while, buddy, because
Boy, start
you can
to
only
shake.
get points by talking, so you're kind of in a log jam right now. Our first discussion topic is about the Xbox and how it sucked a lot and is gradually sucking less.
Gradually. Very gradually.
Some interesting stories came out this week, talking about basically the SDK and the notes that accompany the SDK, which is basically what the developers saw before the Xbox One came out. That all got leaked.
I was gonna say, wasn't this the leak from the guy a few weeks ago who's like, I'm doing this for the good of mankind.
Everybody that leaks anything
saw that.
always dresses it up like, this will cure cancer.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're just kind of...
So he cured cancer with the leaked SDK.
Cancer
info.
is fixed.
But it was also info that like anyone could get if they wanted it, right? Like all you have to do is really sign up for like a game developer account or whatever.
It like costs tens of thousands of dollars to get access to that kind of software.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone can do it.
Indie developers probably have it a little bit easier. I'm not sure what the ID at Xbox plan entitles you to.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole thing. Was like anyone who owns a console now can develop, but I guess they never went through with that. So
Usually there's a cost associated with it, just as a limiting factor.
Right,
I don't
right.
want any douchebag making
like if you're
Xbox
gonna develop an app for iPhone, you got to pay like the $90 or whatever.
exactly
To get on the App Store.
I don't want Chinese developers.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm distracting from
You
the
guys want to
action.
hear a funny story about that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
When I worked at Attack of the Show, they really wanted to get an advanced look of the new iOS, which at the time was like iOS 2 or something.
Sure.
They want to see the new one, and so they wanted me to do a segment on it.
heard
So
that,
they
yeah.
paid for me.
Yeah,
they
to be a
reimbursed
developer.
me to get a developer thing, and I was like, they paid for it. I was like, I should fucking use this. It's like I have it for a whole year. I should use it to learn stuff, and then it'll be great. And I got it for free, and I didn't do a single thing with it.
I bought my iPhone as well.
That was a good story.
Because I used to do the apps segment.
So the emergent story that came out of all of these notes, first of all, is it gave everyone a very thorough understanding of exactly how the Xbox One parses out resources and allocates some to the Kinect and to snappable apps and to its own OS and to connected commands. And fundamentally, we were able to see exactly how the Xbox actually runs games. And through that, you can kind of read between the lines and see just how important gaming was to Xbox. I'm talking about the Division Xbox, not the box. Oh, you're fucked.
Yep. True.
Was it worth it?
That.
Oh, well.
And then what's also fascinating is you can also
luck.
tell through the change log and the developer notes is that as time went on, the system started off very media focused and then gradually moved away from that.
Right.
And then
And
since
so
the
wait.
system came out, it's been even more.
So what you're saying is like it's pretty much more or less what has been said, or what we've surmised. What happened was they started out as a media device, and then they said, "Shit, that didn't work." Everyone got fired, and then who's the guy in charge right now? Phil Spencer,
Yeah, Phil Spencer.
has been slowly being like, "Okay, we got to reallocate X, Y, and Z." I mean, obviously not just him, but you know that's sort of it. So now we're starting to. Someone posted what, like a timeline, right?
Yes.
Of where you could see it, where it started out as this will be focused on football, and now it's focused on gaming.
Yeah, because we were talking about this earlier, and I was talking about how I remember at E3 and how upset all the gamers were because they were like, look at all this TV stuff I can do. It's going to integrate with your cable. It's going to do all this cool stuff. And everyone was just like, oh, no.
It's not gonna play games.
Screw this man.
So I'm guess the question that you're asking there is like, was the Xbox gimped from day one? Like,
Yes.
is it already like at twice as of a disadvantage as the PS4?
Maybe. I think it's more interesting, not so much a question, but to just discuss Microsoft as a company and the Xbox division, and potentially what thinking could have gone into the architecting of a box that is so... It reminds me a lot of the PS3 when it came out, and for like the obvious reasons are like Sony owned the console generation during the PS2, and then they eventually made the PS3, and it was one of those things where it was obvious that they crammed as many bells and whistles on it as they possibly could have.
Right. Well, they were even going to have more bells and whistles. If you remember, the PS3 was going to have 2 HDMI ports.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Or no.
Gee, that's
Maybe
not
It has an HDMI in and an HDMI out.
it actually, I think it was going to be a pass-through. I might be wrong, but I think it was also going to be a router. Like, it was going to have multiple Ethernet ports, so you could plug your modem into it. And
What?
Then it was
That
gonna,
sounds amazing.
It was gonna. They're like, it will do everything.
It'll be $2,000. And it will do everything.
It'd be a
you want.
landline telephone.
Yeah, and then remember the old remote, the controller they had.
Yeah, the
it
boomerang.
looked like a remote boomerang. Yeah, like a lot changed, obviously.
It's just, this is, the older I get and the more I'm in not only games media but just media in general, success really gets to people's heads and almost in a passive way. Like, it's not a nefarious thing, but it does seem like people Microsoft arguably did something right with the Xbox 360 and its design.
I get it. You're talking about us.
Yeah, I'm talking about I've seen it happen at this place
Yeah.
too.
Look at my career, just
machinima.
blowing up.
It seems like once something good happens for someone, they think they can do no wrong, and then they get very, very greedy
Cocky, yeah.
when it comes to
I'm-
feature sets. And
I'm right here.
so I'm just tone it back. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but it is interesting to see not only from a public perception that Microsoft and Xbox have shifted back to games, but that was happening even before the thing came out.
Right.
Like, it started off being very media focused, and they were already rolling that back after it got in developers' hands. And it was actually a real physical box that you could actually code for. It's just really
Well,
fascinating
we
to
were
see.
talking about that earlier today. So like the Xbox 360 had a year head start, and then even by the end, it was still pretty much neck and neck. Like PS3 and Xbox 360 are about the same. So what made Microsoft go, "We did it"? Like, like take that, Sony. It's like you barely won. What made you? Where'd the hubris come from? Like, with Sony, it made sense with the PS2. The PS2 was like the best-selling console of all time, or whatever, before the Wii came out. It sold something like 170 million units or something. I'm just throwing numbers out there. It was something crazy though. So of course they're like, yeah, we can't do any wrong with the PS3. It's gonna have a Blu-ray player, and fuck you, you'll buy it. And people were a little apprehensive until later when they dropped the price. But like, then you saw Microsoft with that same attitude with the Xbox One. It's like, where's this coming from?
Well,
Like,
their launch was huge when they first launched that Xbox 360. It was really, really successful.
Yeah,
a lot of people bought it.
Elijah
And,
Wood.
of course.
and I mean, like, it was that was the they had
Halo.
the,
They had the killers.
it took Sony years and years and years to catch up, and I think they probably considered that a huge win.
I
So-
guess. I mean,
yeah, they bought their way into the market, really. The worldwide market.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess I didn't see it as like the big win. I would have saw that as like a humbling experience of like, okay, we did good. What did we do that worked? And instead they did all the opposite things.
It's just saddening
Sure.
because I've seen this happen multiple times where nice.
It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. I'm gonna give another shot.
Sorry.
Just the whole idea of like, all right, we got this one thing and it worked. Let's do 18 million other things and they will all work too. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
It's like maybe try one or two things. Like maybe an optional Connect would have made the most sense.
Well, Apple does it a really good job because once they succeeded with the iPhone, they released 7 or 8 other ones, right? So and they just slowly iterate on it, and everybody
Yeah.
sort of calls them out for that. And that's why I was always sort of on Microsoft's side at the initial launch because I was like, well, at least they're trying a bunch of new shit.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really cool.
They tried too much new shit though.
But they tried too much, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a balancing act you do there. But everybody bitches at Apple because they don't iterate, they don't innovate on every product.
Right.
But in that sense, Apple's still selling a bazillion of iPhones.
Well, yeah.
So if Xbox One had just come out and been like, it's just a 360 but faster and it's $200.
That's all it had to be.
Yeah. No, I know,
Seriously,
that's
it could have been the same interface. Like We don't need the snap stuff's cool, whatever, but like, it's so goddamn slow. Like, I don't want slow things. Like, every time I use the Xbox 360, I was like, this is a great like UI, great interface and everything. All it needs is to be faster. Right. If it's faster, if everything was like instant, I'd be like, I'm in, I'm done. That's great. That's all it is. Instead they're like, let's redo everything and change the way you think about things for no reason. It's like, just make a new controller, make it faster. Jesus Christ.
It's like Microsoft tries to be a jack of all trades and like check every box, not necessarily being the best at any of them. Whereas Apple kind of focuses and pinpoints and polishes and polishes and polishes.
Takes years.
And will integrate one little thing, and then if people don't like it, they're like, and they'll pull it back and then try something else. But
that's what PlayStation 3 did. They tried to be the jack of all trades. They had everything in that machine, and it was $600 and nobody wanted it. So
like a compact flash slot. In case you take your pictures and want to look at them on your PS3.
Right.
Well, also the original ones were backwards compatible, and so since it was a different architecture, they had
the full chip in it.
Yeah, they had to put a whole, like basically just shoved the PS2 in there, and they're like, whatever.
Oh, this is gonna go well.
Got it.
Anyway.
So kind of digging into the technicals of it, there's a lot of technicals, and if you enjoy reading about chips, dig into that documentation because it's kind of interesting, but what I find fascinating is, so the Xbox One launched with the Kinect and there was no other way to buy it. And it was pretty clear that Microsoft wanted everyone to use the Kinect with the Xbox One. And now looking at the documentation, it seems pretty obvious that at some point, someone at Microsoft kicked open a board meeting, slammed their hand on the table and said, Kinect is the future! No matter what, it's Kinect, and we're gonna bet the farm on Kinect. Which, after the original Kinect, I'm really hard-pressed to see why that was a good idea.
Well, they've been working on Kinect for years and years after that first one.
Yeah.
And actually probably before that too. Like I went, like I've said before, I went to that Microsoft, I went to their actual, campus and saw them doing a lot of research on Kinect before, the Xbox One was announced or anything like that. And it was cool. There were lots of cool things they were doing with it, but it was all through a PC.
Right.
And I think they thought the Xbox One was going to have enough processing power like a PC to run all the things that the Kinect 2 wanted to do.
I see.
And I was really, I'm really excited about that they were trying new things and like giving it a shot. But fuck, man. I mean, release a product that works before you do, all the cool things with it.
Well, that's the thing. If you watch like Kinect tech demos and stuff, you're like, wow, this is kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Like the way when you see how it can filter through noise to like hear your voice in a crowded or loud street or whatever, they're like, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Except it's cool in I want to go to a museum and do that, and not a cool I want to be forced to pay an extra $100 to not utilize that at all.
It's not a need for a console, which it's clear that they didn't want it to be that. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with the Kinect because like when I had my Xbox in my living room for a while and we were using it as our cable device and all that stuff, and I just at one point I was like, I'm just gonna take it upstairs and then now it's gonna play video games because video games started coming out for it, whereas before I had nothing to play. So I've had the Kinect unplugged this entire time. Basically, this for the last 7 months or so, ever since like Master Chief Collection came out, or any game worth playing like Destiny, and it doesn't do anything for gaming. So it's just like, doesn't matter. You don't need it. I don't know. It's a waste. And it sucks because Microsoft has probably dropped billions of dollars into it, and they're trying to get their money back. And I can see the technology making sense in the future. Like, I don't know what. I don't know. I imagine like 10 years from now, like. I don't know. Well, like your home will be all automated or whatever. I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
There you go. Lawrence is talking very quietly.
I don't know.
Didn't want to interrupt.
We didn't want to
interrupt. Oh, I don't know. I get more distracted when you're quiet and passive aggressive.
I would have.
Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
And he just died.
You're either passive aggressive or you're a bitch. These are the things that I'm learning.
Or you can be both.
Or you can be both.
Can you be a passive aggressive bitch?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we just
The
said.
lesson I've learned hanging out with a group of guys is you can't win.
Yeah, usually.
I'm just gonna go.
Just accept
No,
it.
you gotta jump.
I
You gotta
did.
jump.
I hit it. He didn't do it.
So here's the frustrating thing about this is that Microsoft was apparently so dedicated to the Kinect being part of the Xbox One that there are system resources reserved for using it, and we knew that. But now that this documentation is coming out, it's clear exactly how much. Basically, 1 core and about half of another processing core.
And there's what, 7 cores, 8 cores?
8 total.
8, yeah.
7 of which 6 of which are reserved for gaming.
Like Dark Souls.
And they've opened up the 7th, like half of it, to use for gaming. But it's never clear like how much of that you'll be able to get in case someone says a Kinect command,
It's like your brain.
or unlocks an achievement or something silly like that.
What are you trying to
You
say?
only use 10% of your brain.
What are you trying to say,
It's like
Skull?
Lucy.
How do you do that?
He killed it.
You shoot it. You shoot it and then it
I
dies.
shot it like 3 times.
Here you go, baby.
You
School.
shoot it 4 times.
He's just gonna fall.
Yeah, but you'll live this
Oh, okay.
Oh man, nice.
Jesus.
Don't touch those spikes.
So the bummer is, like, I don't use the Kinect at all, and I tried. I give it to college, but
Careful when you jump.
it's just like flawed tech. It doesn't. 80% is not a high enough success rate for me
not worth it.
to base it around, especially when a button works 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's frustrating to me to think now, okay, I spent $400 on this box, and it's essentially running at 80% capacity.
Because of that stupid thing that doesn't work.
Because Microsoft made some kind of policy statement early on that Kinect was the future, and we're going to assume that every Xbox is going to have a Kinect, so we might as well architect it around that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of frustrating. And they're slowly rolling that back in the ways that they can. They're opening up the CPU core for better
Trying to
performance.
slide
Yeah.
You
jump.
played Mega Man
There is
No,
no
I
slide
haven't.
jump.
There was no slide jump. You don't go faster.
And we're back here.
Oh, you start back at the beginning.
You didn't make it to the checkpoint.
You didn't make it.
Just walk.
That's the thing that James just decided to not kill anything except for the things that he needs
This
to
is
kill.
how you have to play these old school games. You just avoid the obstacles that you don't have to kill.
Oh man.
But what I'll get it this time. Don't
So
worry.
it's
Don't worry.
that kind of factors into a lot of it and how the PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One has shaken out. It seems early on that that Sony was like, we are going to make a machine that plays games, and we're going to build a machine around that. So there's going to be a huge pool of very fast memory that the singular devoted processor to gaming can reach into and out of whenever it wants, and that's how we're going to market it. Hey, this is a black square that plays games, and it's pretty cheap, and it plays games. You put a game in it, and you can play it.
Yeah.
And all that other media stuff is there because that's expected at this point, but it's certainly not going to be the pitch. And clearly, that's paying dividends. It's
Well,
What do they say? They're
I was-
close to like 18 million sold or something like that.
yeah, 18 million.
the
worldwide.
irony is that the way games are developed generally means that even if the PlayStation even is set up to access all of this processing power, basically just has to be in stride with the Xbox One.
Yeah, and
Because that's how the games are going to be coming out because of background deals and what have you. And
there
so-
are some changes, like say GTA 5. It's got like denser foliage on the PS4.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's
Isn't
got
that
some
one?
it's got some lens effects that aren't there on the Xbox One. So
Press
it's
effects?
not chess.
That's a fact.
Damn it.
But it's basically becoming like it really does amount to decisions that were made 4 years ago about the future of this hardware. Of
course.
are now meaning that the Xbox One is just behind the 8-ball almost permanently. Like
Yeah.
there's almost nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
And the people that made those decisions probably lost their jobs.
Should they just upgrade to the Xbox 2? Should
So-
they just scrap
Cool.
it?
Xbox 2?
That's an interesting question. Because a lot of people have been saying that about the Wii U. They're saying that Nintendo should just walk away from it and put out another piece of hardware.
What? The Wii U isn't that bad.
But
Yeah.
people don't like it.
I know, but why? The reason people don't like the Wii U is because it doesn't have games on
What
it.
if they rebranded it instead and they just renamed it something not Wii U, so then you think it's not the same, and they just changed the color maybe to
Wii 2?
There you go.
red?
Stop it.
Super Wii.
I don't know. That's actually, it's always kind of funny with game consoles versus every other piece of tech.
Yeah.
HTC and like Samsung will put out 16 new phones a year, and we all go, cool, nice. And games are basically built around that hardware. And this happened with like old Apple technology, where it's like, I want to play Infinity Blade. They're like, what do you got? The old iPhone? Can't play it. Like, you need the iPhone 3G. And like, fine, fuck it. I'll buy an iPhone 3G or 4 or whatever. And people were kind of okay with it. And phones cost more than consoles, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they do.
Go ahead,
technically.
Swole, argue with me. Tell
Swole,
me.
they do.
I guess with the contract. and stuff.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
they usually- yeah, they
you're getting it
usually do.
subsidized. So yeah, I always thought we were gonna get like subsidized consoles, where like you could only play certain games if you had like Xbox 2 or whatever.
Oh, I mean,
do that.
you could. Yeah, remember? Wasn't it
They're
Microsoft?
like
that was-
terrible layaway plan.
Yeah, where you can get an Xbox
Yeah.
360 or something for
it required
$50
you to be an
less.
Xbox Live subscriber for
Yeah.
2 years and all
Yeah.
this stuff.
It was weird, but that's where all gaming's going anyway. It's all going to be subscription based. It's all going to be a service. Anyway.
It'll be subscription based kind of stuff, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's where they all want it to go. It makes the most sense. They want reoccurring payments.
Yeah, it's
That's what everyone wants.
guaranteed money.
Yeah,
So
they don't want you to buy one thing and walk away.
One thing that I am at least hopeful for is it's obvious that shortly after the launch of the Xbox One, people at Microsoft or in the Xbox division were like, "Oh, that didn't work. Get rid of all these people and like promote some other people in their place."
Sure.
There's basically been like an 80% turnover in the executive staff at Xbox since the One launched.
Of course.
And I really like the direction since then. I've said this before in other videos, but it's clear that they're being much more gaming-centric now. That's apparent even in the SDK stuff. Since the Xbox launched, they've been tuning the drivers to get more performance out of the graphics hardware. They've opened up system resources that were previously reserved for the Kinect to make it so the developer can choose. Personally, I'd like to see them enable the developers to completely shut off the Kinect and just give all those resources to the game dev if the developer wants to.
Right.
And then just have like a little logo show up saying the Kinect will not work during this game.
And for all you Sony ponies out there, because I know that there's a lot of people who's like, oh, you guys talk about Xbox all the time. The reason we talk about Xbox all the time is because they've kind of made all the interesting moves, both good and bad. So it's like, you know, like they put the Kinect in, and they tried the always online DRM thing, and they like, whereas Sony kind of played it safe the whole time, and that's the reason we're not talking about them. But
Because Sony's not as interesting to talk about.
right, exactly.
Because they just made all the right moves.
They just made
shitloads of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's one of those things that, yeah, of course we congratulate Sony on that, and like, excellent job. Like, they played the console game like a master.
Right. And it's funny though, because Bruce, you and I'm actually not curious. I don't know where Lawrence gets all his news from, but typically I know
Xbox.com.
I know you. That's for all your PlayStation news.
Yeah.
Major Nelson's Twitter
There's a
feed.
PlayStation 4?
Mom! Oh, that sucked. But I know Bruce and I, pretty much every morning when we look at news, it's always Reddit and this website called the N4G. And I've been going to the site for a while, and I remember, I don't know when it happened, but it's always been pro Sony. And like, if you ever want to go there and kind of like throw up a little bit in your mouth, like the sort of titles that get pushed to the front are like just god awfully hilarious. Like I posted it on Twitter a while ago where it's like, in the next Uncharted, you can see Nathan Drake's chest hair move, and it was like, they
Dress effect.
it was the dumbest thing in the world, and people were like losing their shit over it, like, oh my god, and like, it's like Bloodborne will change your life, literally, and it's like, what? Like, the people there will upvote anything positive to Sony, and it's just like, it's almost a parody of itself, and it's hilarious.
Games journalism.
But those are the sort of people, like, I always imagine where they're like, you don't like Sony. I'm like, go back to N4G and enjoy your little circle jerk. Like, you guys are sad. Which on the flip side, though, like on the subreddit, the PS4 subreddit, the people are usually pretty cool. Which is, strange. They're usually more self-deprecating over there.
Nice.
Oh, this
So
level sucks.
predictions for the future. We've seen Microsoft kind of
Drop the ball.
almost, well, yes, but also kind of informally recant. They've kind of switched up their policies a little bit. They're now messaging almost exclusively about games. There's none of that NFL, ESPN, Netflix bullshit. So what do you guys think is going to be in the future for Xbox and in the future for PlayStation? Do you see any policy switches coming, or do you think it's just good games from here on out?
But PlayStation is just going to be the same old. I mean, like, they're going to keep doing what's working right now. And I think they may have to change their strategy, like, later on this year if Xbox catches up. We were all surprised that Xbox sort of didn't, or they raised the price back to $400. I thought for sure they were going to keep it at $350.
Here, let's try another stage. I'm pretty sure you have to use the stupid wing in the menu.
Centaur man, real hard.
Wait, wing?
Yeah, this thing. Nope.
What does that do?
Typically, it lets you leave the stage. Oh, it's only completed once. How do you pick another level?
This is a fan. This is a fan-made Mega Man game.
I'll deal with this.
Oh, this is Charge Shot?
So what do we
Yeah,
expect
this is
for
Mega
the
Buster.
future?
Yeah, future.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
Mega Man. Basically,
Mega Man.
just Mega Man on all consoles.
Capcom will make another Mega Man.
Yeah. No, they won't, because what's it? Mighty Number 9's coming out this year.
There won't be a future for consoles. I'm sorry to announce. It's all going to be Steam boxes.
I'm sorry to announce.
I like how Spool has his own little
boxes.
press conference.
If I might say so.
Ladies and gentlemen,
people
the
might
president
say-
of PC spokesperson, Spool. What's
I just want to
last
get it
name?
clear. I'm not a PC elitist. I understand why people like to play consoles and stuff. Like having a nice little prepackaged thing you don't have to worry about updating.
Yeah, you do. You get the console
It
after
does
that.
it for you.
He's so condescending. Do you hear this?
No,
I understand why retarded people want a little box.
It takes a lot of
Jeez,
time
Spool.
and maintenance and upkeep on like a PC.
No, it doesn't.
It's trying to sound genuine.
It does too.
How much?
Oh.
After like the first year. Or
How much
whatever,
upkeep does your
it's
PC require?
Well, it doesn't. The thing is, that whatever game you put in it will run and play. which is not something you can say about PC
It
gaming.
may or may not.
Kind of, unless it's like
a
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, that's
No, no,
It's a gamble.
There's graphics stipulations, and then all kinds of shit. I couldn't play. I could play all kinds of games. I could play Battlefield 4, but I couldn't play Rome Total War on my.
Oh well, Total War is renowned for never. working.
But I'm saying
You're right,
that
you're
wouldn't
right,
be
you're
an
right.
issue
Yeah.
if it
Right.
wasn't PC. Though
Like-
that's the only thing. That's the only thing
Or
that I
bigger
would say.
server, like you can handle more people. So like Battlefield, you can have 64 people and whatever on PC, which is nice.
You went
64-player
you
server.
went from talking advantage of console to immediately going back to talking
Yeah,
about PC.
I can't.
Because you're disingenuine. You don't care.
No, I can't. I mean, I don't care.
So the future of gaming is you're just gonna be cool with everyone having
It's all
consoles.
school's living room.
It's whatever
I'm
school
trying to
does.
think
That's
of
the future.
what I really think.
It's gonna come down to exclusives. We're seeing that happen more and
Yeah.
more. People, Street Fighter going to PlayStation, Tomb Raider going to Xbox, even though it's gonna be a limited time. It's about
You
the
release the button, it'll go back.
slowly
I'm aware
dying
of-
console exclusives, and then it's gonna just be games are just gonna become a service. That's where it's going.
And
These are the probably the last round of consoles you're gonna
which
see.
one should I pick?
Why do we even talk?
But yeah,
Samurai guy.
I was listening.
I was listening.
I believe. Yeah, I agree.
I think, like we were kind of mentioning before, is like I think it'll kind of go more subscription-based stuff. Like, so you'll have gold, or you'll have whatever the PlayStation one is, and you'll like, and they're already kind of doing this now, where you get an access to free games every month, or
Right.
however often they do it, and it'll just be more and more stuff like that. And then I think they'll end up kind of taking on the Steam persona of like giving you a lot more sales, a lot more deals, which I know they've already begun.
Well,
doing
they're
anyways.
trying to do that, and they're trying to get there, but everybody's sort of supposed to jump off.
Well,
that.
specifically when it
I
comes
did
to like
jump, he just
system
went right
updates,
back down.
because if you think about the path of like, I feel like the Xbox 360 had the biggest transformation, because the UI at the beginning was that weird blade.
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's right.
And then it eventually migrated over to more of a Windows 8 interface with like the tiles and things like that. And they opened up a lot more ad space on the Xbox 360. That's for
Right.
sure. So
Well,
I'm curious if the Xbox One in 2 or 3 years' time will even look anything like it does now.
No, not at all. It changes all the time. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're totally right there. But then going back to what Spool's saying, if you want to see the future of where things are going, you'd always look at Valve. They're always on top of things, and people are like, when are they going to make Half-Life? They're not going to make Half-Life because unless they can make money off of it every month, they can find a way. So like, you got to start looking at games as more of a service. Things like Dota, things like Counter-Strike Go, where like you're having people spending whatever thousands of dollars a week on the chance of getting a knife that does nothing.
Well, yeah, now they have Minecraft now too, so they're starting to get into that weird kind of space
That's true,
of like
Yeah.
publishing.
It's gonna be, yeah, I guess whatever Minecraft 2 looks like is gonna be the most interesting thing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Minecraft 2 was free. It came with every Xbox, but it was just littered with microtransactions and like skins and stuff like that. I mean, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, it does actually.
Because everyone who owns Minecraft now, according to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Wait, everybody owns
That-
one?
pretty much.
Oh, you mean like everybody's bought a copy?
Yeah, I
Lost to
forgot.
the world.
I forgot where I saw this story where one of the developers finally found a way of tracking how many people were logged in Minecraft, or like they could track their sales finally correctly, and it sold something ridiculous, like just tens of millions of copies. It's
All
stupid.
for $30 a piece. 30, 25.
I got it for like 15
Yeah.
or whatever
I
when
got
it was
like
in
12.
beta.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because St. Andrews was like, "This is
never
going to
bought
be
it either.
huge," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
actually, I have the Attack of the Show account.
I
Haha.
remember it when it was in beta, and you didn't have to pay for it. You could just
Don't
get
go back.
it and try it. And so I got it and I tried it and I go, what the fuck is this?
Blocks.
And that was the end of it. And then that's all I ever.
That was
played.
it. That was all. That's what we mostly did. Obviously, we didn't have the time, or
Those spinning wheels.
I know what they-
Just for anyone listening,
Yeah.
Lawrence, for some god awful reason, decided to pick a Mega Man fan game
Yeah.
as the game to play on the podcast.
Lawrence has one more shot at picking the game for the podcast.
you played Counter-Strike last time the entire time.
Yeah, and I didn't say a word. It was great. And only I played. I forgot what the other one we played. He picked last time, where like all we did was pay attention to the game because he keeps picking interesting games that we want to play.
Yeah, I want to play Mega Man.
Geometry Wars?
Yeah, no.
The one that was distracting everyone? I'm trying to remember.
Card
I don't-
game.
Car game. No,
Maybe.
Disney.
Car game was fun.
This was fine.
Up.
Well, anyway, this
Whatever.
We should mention that
We
this
should-
podcast is sponsored by Audible. They offer over 150,000 titles to choose from, including fiction, non-fiction bestsellers in every category you can imagine, I hope that adult entertainment is included.
Really?
It's
What?
I think really
pretty obvious.
audiobooks.
It's a nice erotica while you're driving to work. You feel nice and distracted, nice and excited for it. Anyway,
Let him do his thing.
so Audible is actually not like a streaming service. If you're thinking about like Netflix, you'd be wrong. With Audible, you own your books, so you basically add them to your library, and then they're always yours.
I didn't know that.
There are free apps for iPhones, Android, Windows Phone. You can download and listen to any number of devices: iPhone, iPod, Android, Kindle Fire, Windows Phone, and over 500 MP3 players. So dig that creative zen out of the closet. It also has something called immersion reading, which is a phrase that I enjoy. This is on the Kindle Fire HD, and it allows you to listen and read at the same time and highlights the text as you read along with a narrator.
That's cool.
So I can imagine that being really good if you have kids or something, want to teach them how to read.
Or like me, where I don't read good.
There's that too. James is an Audible user. You seem pretty satisfied with the service.
I love it.
Yeah, you mentioned that you get like a token every month and you can just get one free thing.
Yeah, you can pay different levels. The level that I'm on just gives you one free token every single month. But with that, it also allows you, because you can just go to Audible right now, not sign up, and buy books, right? But if you are a member, you get a discount on all those books that you would buy, as well as a free book every single month, or you can pay for 2 books a month or what have you. I get 1 book a month, and that's plenty. That's plenty for me. Right now, I am listening to Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky.
And how's it going?
It's pretty slow, but it's the kind of thing where I wouldn't have made it nearly as far as I've gotten into this if I wasn't using Audible. Like, if I was reading it, I would have passed out on this a long time ago.
Are you reading it so you can reference it in parties and sound very intelligent?
No, I just looked up a list of I cross-referenced a list of really, really good works of literature with really good book reading performances.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what the term for it. What is...
Who's narrating, probably? Or
Yeah, like book narration. And so I cross-referenced those 2 lists, and then one of those was Crime and Punishment, and I went with that one.
And has nothing to do with Sherlock?
Nothing to do with Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
If you would like to be like James, go to audiblepodcast.com/inside for a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Once more, that's audiblepodcast.com/inside. Free audiobook, 30-day trial. War and Punishment. You should probably
Crime and Punishment.
Crimes
Crime and Punishment.
War and Peace.
What do you think of War and
The
Peace,
same
which is
thing.
also on the
No, I
list?
tried to jump.
All right. Well, thank you, Audible, for your sponsorship.
Much appreciated.
So, and if you're a Sony fan and the previous topic didn't get you incensed enough, hopefully the next one will. Because we're going all social justice warrior.
Uh-oh.
Not really. But there have been a few headlines that are, you're already sighing. Give me a
I'm
second.
sighing because I'm just...
I know.
I just heard what you said when you said if you're a Sony fan, and I really hate people who have any sort of blind following or allegiance to something where they're like, I only like Sony stuff. You're like, well, you should probably just kill yourself because life's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, you shouldn't kill yourself, but I'm just saying, don't limit yourself to one company. You can, like I said, we like what Sony does. We like things that Microsoft does. There's also things we hate. And the thing is to like and hate everything so that you have options in your life. So anyway, that's why I was signed.
That's Atari fanboy talk. I've ever heard.
Well, if you're the type who likes all men and hates all women,
What?
Wait, what?
you'll be delighted to hear.
I want to see how he segues this.
Yeah, I want to hear
Very much
more.
of a segue.
Let him talk.
So there are a few headlines basically regarding women in games. The first of which is the idea that Commander Shepard was intended to be a woman, and that's a little bit misleading.
That was already confirmed, I thought, by that developer who tweeted it. No?
Spool, were you the one who clarified?
Yeah, he was talking about how he clarified later. So originally he tweeted about how like, oh, this is my first animation test. Yeah, that's right. It was a girl, and he's like, that's right. Commander Shepard was supposed to be a woman.
Yeah.
And then later he clarified and he said, well, actually they always intended for there to be a choice. They were just using Jade Empire.
Spool.
They were using Jade Empire animations, so they kind of like just copied over and like they had a woman one spare. Someone else did this.
Here you go, James.
So Commander Shepard started as a woman, but it was for production purposes.
Yeah.
Still, when we made it first, and then also the other interesting thing, maybe the more actually discussion-worthy topic is Don't Nod, the people who made Remember Me, which was also protagonist was a woman. They're making a new game called Life is Strange. It's kind of an episodic, kind of surreal adventure game. Also, protagonist is a woman. And in some interviews, they basically said that Square Enix, the current publisher, is the only publisher they talked to who didn't insist that they replace the protagonist with a man. And that's why Square Enix is the one publishing the games. They didn't question it at all. They're like, that looks good, we'll publish it.
Well, yeah, it's just it's just a protagonist.
I was gonna say it's sad that that's a we need to pat people on the back these days for that. It's like you should make the protagonist that fits your story. But whatever, sure.
So here's an interesting question. We typically fall on the side of just let the free market decide kind of thing. And that's typically why most games are made with men, because the conception is that games led by men will sell more.
Right.
So my question to you guys is, do you think there's an inherent value in implementing diversity in gaming and gaming characters and gaming story for the sake of diversity? Do you think there's an inherent value in that? Or do you think it's purely down to what will earn the most money?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's either, actually. I think it should just be, I think Aisha Tyler, I read an interview with her a while back about this stuff. Yes, they're really close to them. And she just said, if the protagonist fits as a woman, it fits as a woman. If it fits as a man, it fits as a man. I don't necessarily think that there should be, we shouldn't be doing it for diversity's sake, nor should we be doing it for money's sake. In the sense that if the story is about a woman, the story is about a woman. And if the story is about a man, the story is about a man. Or if it's about both, it's about both. So I would like, for the storytellers in games to write stories, whether or not they fit a man or a woman's, point of view. Yeah. Just pick the right one for your story.
And then Mass Effect's interesting, where it's it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
And just giving people choice, oh, that's cool.
Well, Mass Effect is a really good example because you guys know my feelings on emphasizing narrative over gameplay, right? Mm-hmm. So the ideal situation is a situation where you, the player, can interject yourself into the character's role, right? So, I mean, some people just can't play a game if they're a woman, right? They just can't. Oh, I can't take myself out of it.
That's awful.
Which is really sad.
That's crazy.
Other people can't do it, vice versa.
Way,
you know, which maybe you should deal with that.
Yeah, maybe evaluate the way you are.
But regardless, I think what's more important is there a way to interject? Is there a way to figure out how to do it so that way the player can still interject themselves into the role? Because that's what should be the most important thing. Mm-hmm. So
it's so weird, just because I've seen movies, I've played games, I've read books from all sorts of perspectives, and it doesn't really ever take me out of it. Or I'm like, oh, this is from a perspective of a woman? I'd never. It's they're like, okay, let's just pretend this person. At the end of the day, it's this is a person who's not me.
I remember when I was a kid and I would read Goosebumps books, and then you'd be like, oh, the main character's a girl in this one. But I was 9 years old, and I go, oh, I'd still read it, but I wouldn't it would be one of those where, wait a minute, hold on, I'm gonna have to adjust to this. But you can adjust pretty quick. You need to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I really would get thrown off, I don't think I've ever experienced this, but if they got really into talking about their periods or something weird, something that I couldn't relate.
Wow.
And then
talking about their periods.
Scene from any female love story.
And like I said, it's never happened before, but I'm saying if it ever did.
It's the new game, Remember Menzies.
I have studied a bit of Shakespeare, and yes, at the beginning of Act 3, there is always a scene where two women gather to talk about their periods.
Yeah,
Jesus, Swole. Swole, what's it going to be like when you actually talk to a woman?
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Is that the first thing you're going to say to him?
That's speed dating.
I wanted to Goosebumps, but I was afraid they'd talk about their periods.
Yeah.
To be fair, I grew up with women.
That's the scariest.
Oh, that's right. He has a
Goosebumps of them all.
sister. Swole's a sister. Yeah.
And a very hot mom.
So you should know everything there is about it.
My stepdad was always gone, so it was just me and my sister and my mom. So it was always girls.
Just blood everywhere.
Nothing but menstruation.
Talking about their poops.
And
Here's another thing. Here's another thing
You're allowed to
too.
talk about
Girls are gross.
If you're a player,
are you.
if you're a player who can't put themselves in the role of a character who's a woman and you're a dude, right? Then I also don't want you to ever play a game where you are a robot or you are some sort of
life form, a different life form
character or anything like Alien, any of that. You officially have to pass on all of that because it's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's kind of a middle ground where there are a lot of games that are kind of gender agnostic, but they're always male. So, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
The control sucks in this game.
It's kind of a generalist story about an army man and his army bro.
Oh, almost.
You can't do it. It's
No, you can't.
You could have made the protagonist of Advanced Warfare a woman, kept all the same dialogue, and some feminists will say that even that's bad. But you could have done that, but they obviously didn't because it's a male-focused franchise and they want to be dudes.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, they could easily interject it and make it to where you could be a woman or a man.
I don't think
your character doesn't talk.
It doesn't matter because whoever's playing Advanced Warfare or whatever is just blasting Avenged Sevenfold so loudly they can't even hear the game. And their mom is just screaming at them saying, stop saying homophobic wording.
I guess ultimately it boils down to that stories and a lot of society are male by default. And unless there's a reason for it to be female, it's male. And I don't know if that's good or bad. Probably bad from some people.
Well, I mean, like what you were saying.
It's just a product of the society.
Yeah, I mean, like what you were saying earlier, and like, you know, we're always kind of like, we're just right in the middle of this. We're never like, it needs to be one way or the other. But at least, like Lawrence, you brought up that like you use common sense where you're saying, okay, the reason why there are so many male-centric games is because that's a byproduct of the market. And it's what they think will sell. And so it's whatever people are buying. And so it's like if you don't like the same, you know, Joe Army Man, like don't buy it.
Yeah.
Like
Well, better yet, prove them wrong.
Yeah.
If you want to see more games with female protagonists, and this is kind of sad, but make a point of buying good games that have female protagonists.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
we always talk about Mirror's Edge, be like Mirror's Edge, Mirror's Edge. I bought Mirror's Edge when it came out. No one else did.
I did.
Well, you did, Lawrence, but I'm saying
Yeah.
no one else
The
did.
gaming market at large didn't, and at this point, like, it's kind of hard to say that game probably would have been more successful if it had a
Kills me.
male main character.
Does it? I mean, I played that game and like probably at the end I was like, oh yeah, you're a chick.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter. And I mean, same thing with like pretty much every
Well, it
game I
didn't matter once you
play.
started playing, but it's mostly like the box art, the marketing.
Well,
Sure.
especially if it's a first-person game, you're not going to notice much unless they're talking. To
Yeah, that would actually make me kind of sad if they shoved like an Army Man dude on the cover of Mirror's Edge and it sold better. It's just like that sucks.
I would
know.
like for some game company, and this would cost money, so it'll never happen. But I would love it if they could do like A/B testing. So in like
coverage.
in alternate states, they release versions of the game,
Ah,
identical
yeah.
game, except one is male and one is female.
Yeah.
Just to see what it does to the sales rates and the demographics of who purchases it and that kind of thing.
Huh, that'd be interesting.
I will say, like, honorable mention goes to BioWare, because their games, I mean, we were talking about Mass Effect earlier and how they were intending to be able to choose. Where, like, I've been playing through Dragon Age Inquisition, and you can, like, make any kind of character you basically want in there, whether it's like an elf or a dwarf, man or woman,
Dwarf.
either way,
Yeah,
or
the
like
little guy
all
with his
kinds of
knees.
stuff.
Stephen
and then
Dorff.
you can make him, then you can customize him from there. You can make him like seduce everybody or not seduce anyone. Like there's obviously gay and lesbian, like
Sexy adventure.
sex adventures.
What do you mean,
and
obviously?
all kinds of stuff.
Obviously.
BioWare's been doing that since
Okay.
like for a long time. with
Just
all
like
their
any good
RPGs
D&D
stuff.
campaign, so much of the game is devoted to fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
We still need to play D&D.
Yeah, we do. I'll be DM. You guys can fuck whoever you want.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay.
You're not gonna
Can we
get 'em.
dress up?
This is
Do
the
we have
last
to
life,
cosplay as our
though.
characters?
You absolutely do. Put on your nice elf ears, your little cape, bring your little sword.
I bet Joel has like a whole closet full of outfits for us.
He does.
You bet.
Either way, this is a discussion we've had many times before, and I think we'll just say it again. But it's like we like diversity. We like different options. We don't want to just play the same thing over and over, even though like a lot of us do. I always go into first-person shooters that have like Twitch shooting, just because I like that. But the more options for more people, the better. I'll never ever say no to having more things there. I don't understand that people are like, no girls in games. Like what? What's not? Doesn't affect you. Like chill out, buddy.
Yeah, the less restrictive, the better.
And whether or not you think that this conversation is valid, it is at least like I think it's worth celebrating that these conversations are happening because it's another sign that video games are becoming part of media. Discussions of representation and things like that have permeated music and movies and things like this. So it's not just oh man.
Oh boy.
It's not just a bunch of like Tumblrites kicking up a storm. It's
What is the Tumblr thing?
It's just I don't know, man.
Social justice Tumblr.
That kind of thing, yeah.
I saw a bunch of people getting upset because Rooster Teeth made a joke, and people were saying like, "Oh, Tumblr's going to be upset." I'm like, "What? What does Tumblr matter? When did this become a thing?"
I think they have a reputation for being the most socially active.
Isn't
They have for a long time. Like,
isn't
even
Tumblr just for porn? I thought you just like make like.
No, it's for
That's
gifts,
certainly
silly
all.
gifts.
Gifts
Oh.
of porn, yes.
No, but even like when I used to frequent 4chan, it was like
Used to,
when I used
sure.
to, they always knew Tumblr. The Tumblr girls would always get mad, or social justice people would always get mad.
Weird. Okay, well, I'm getting old, so that's cool.
That's fine.
I don't understand things.
One of the gifts of getting old is not caring about things and just like just having fun with what you like and not feeling like you have to justify that to anybody or explain it to anybody.
Kind of like what I like is not Mega Man.
You're having a great time, James.
I'm excited for Mighty Number 9.
Also, like,
too.
I feel
Looks
like
really good.
a lot of kids, well, I say obviously again, but a lot of people that play video games are still in the younger, like, teenage or 18-year-old or whatever demographic where they're still figuring out.
Are they talking about their periods?
No.
Oh God, Sport Run.
They're trying to establish who they are, what they are, like trying to figure
When
out
their periods are.
So they try and identify
What
with
blood is
certain
coming out of their vagina?
Whose blood?
Why is it chunky this month?
They try and identify with certain groups, and then once they like align themselves with the group, they're gonna defend that group and defend that choice, even if it's not necessarily the right choice, or the wrong choice, or anything like that. You're gonna like back your horse, basically.
Like when you were part of the Black Panthers?
Back in the
He doesn't
70s.
regret that.
Never apologize.
He was their leader.
Well, if you feel strongly for a topic, you can express that to the world
On Tumblr.
with Squarespace,
Oh,
which
there
is
we go.
also a sponsor of this podcast.
Thank you.
Squarespace recently launched the latest version of their platform, Squarespace 7, which has a completely redesigned interface, integrations with Getty Images and Google Apps, 15 new templates, and an incredible feature called Cover Pages. They invite you to try the new Squarespace with a free trial at squarespace.com and enter offer code INSIDE at checkout to get 10% off. I'm talking with the Squarespace guys. We're going to get a full, legit, dumb, Inside Gaming Squarespace website up.
Really?
Hopefully I'll have it off the ground by the time this podcast is up. It's going to be at insidegaming.squarespace.com.
Oh, man.
I don't have the green light just yet. They have to check and make sure the name's available. I checked; it's not parked or anything. Oh, yeah. But so yeah, we're gonna throw some GIFs on there. We're gonna get some nice MIDI music rolling in the
Meat
background.
spins.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So I need to find a MIDI version of a Limp Bizkit song. Community. if
Yes, you
If
do.
you could point me to one of those, that'd be great. But yeah, we're gonna take it upon ourselves to show the internet just how good at the internet we can be by tiling a spinning skull GIF and then maybe some like little sparkles, some traffic cones,
Glitter.
and a nice Limp Bizkit MIDI.
I'm
You're
Coming
trying
soon.
to get people to go to the website or stay away from the website.
They will come, Spol. We will build it. They will come.
That's
We
right.
did set Dharma.
So once more, that's squarespace.com and offer code INSIDE at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. Thank you for the sponsorship, Squarespace. And we don't apologize for what we're about to use your platform to do.
It's creative expression.
That's right. It's free speech, which is apparently
Yeah.
paramount to people.
That's how I go to sleep at
Get
night.
mad about things. On the last podcast, we discussed a variety of topics. To start with, we talked about fitness and gaming and kind of how those two cultures don't really cross over that much. Got some interesting replies. One thing that I found fascinating is we heard from a couple of people who are physically fit and active, and because of that, they're kind of excluded from gamer culture. Jebediah 8D says, you guys make a great point about gamers and diets. I take my health very seriously. Because of my sport, I compete at a national level, and I find when I play games with people, I'm associated with not being a gamer to them, even though I may log like 100 hours into, say, Civ 5 or Dragon Age.
Yeah, it's fine.
We don't train all the time because we'll get exhausted, and I find games help me keep my mind active while I'm not training. Good podcast, thumbs up.
Oh.
And then another comment from Corrado Picconi.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. He says, I'm a pretty fit guy and I love gaming. I love going to the gym, but I also love video games. It sucks that all of my fitness friends call me a nerd for video games and all my gaming friends call me an asshole because I'm so much more fit than them. I'm not a typical gamer. So I have kind of noticed that sometimes not only there's not a lot of crossover between the two, but sometimes they even fight each other. In the sense that gaming and gamer culture, there's a certain association with that, and by that I mean if you're active and go outside and talk to people, that can even like buy you a ticket out of gamer culture.
Really?
Yeah,
For being social?
yeah.
That's weird.
For being able to go outside and just being like if you're one of the normals.
Like if you talk about normal things and people consider you not a gamer, which is weird. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's and one of the more toxic parts of gamer culture that I've seen is bonding together through exclusion. And so it's not bad at all if you feel maybe excluded from society or have trouble making friends. It's not bad at all to have friends on the internet that you identify with. That's a great thing. But the problem then becomes when you invert that thinking and then to say if someone doesn't have a problem going outside, they don't belong in my group.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because we are outcasts, and if there's one of the normals here, they are the enemy. And that kind of thinking does happen, even though it's not explicit.
Yeah, if they're like cool or jock or whatever, you're like, oh, they can't be like me because I
Weird.
wasn't like that. So,
Huh, that's weird. Because like part of me is like I'm always just so happy just to stay home and play a game. Like I sat around and played. I think I played like 16 hours of GTA over the weekend. Like felt good just going back and playing it. But at some point I'm like I really got to get out and go outside. And like we went to a birthday party and like did some other stuff. And I'm like part of me is like I don't want to leave, but I'm like I really should.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so the world knows that I'm not dead in my apartment being eaten by my cats.
That's
like
what I do.
so like it's exactly what we talked about last week. Moderation. So it's like just find a balance in your life.
So
and
don't do what Spool does.
Don't do what Spool do.
Donnie Spool.
I always feel bad, but I don't like going outside.
So wait, you feel bad? You feel
It's
bad
too
staying
bright.
inside, but you don't go outside.
Because I have really bad social anxiety, really. Where like whenever I'm going to a new place, or what I'll do is like I really want to go. This is like how it stages. Where I really want to go, and then I'll start getting ready or whatever, and I'll get all ready, and then I'm like, oh, but I don't know where I'm gonna park, and then so that like becomes like a little like hook of like I don't know what I'm doing. So if
You
I'm
just
going
need
to
an
a new
excuse.
Place,
Yeah,
I'll kind of
basically.
like give myself excuses of reasons not to go, and eventually I'll just psych myself out of it.
I definitely do the same thing, and not only in social circumstances, but also for like exercise or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, my bike's dirty, can't work out today.
Yep.
Gotta go home and clean my bike, and then I don't.
I always say it's like the bad Yelp review.
Oh,
so it's like food's great, hurt my foot, 1 out of 5. They're like, wait, what? And so like, yeah, you want to go outside, and you're like, ooh, I don't like the look of those teenagers. Like,
They look like
Those teenagers.
it's cold outside.
But yes, gamer culture, such as it is, and the way it develops, and especially the way people.
Where does it start you from?
Fuck this game.
Why would you put this game on?
I played the intro
I
level
made
and
a
it was
conscious
fine.
decision to never play another Mega Man game ever for the rest of my life.
And here
like
we
2
are.
years ago.
Another topic that we discussed is the manner in which viewers or consumers of gaming media can support the people that make them. And I was discussing the traditional way was through advertising, but it seems like people are more than willing to not just to pay directly instead of watching ads. Got some interesting responses to that. Scott's Let's Play channel says, I watch both Rooster Teeth and Kind of Funny content. I am a sponsor on the Rooster Teeth website, but I will not support Kind of Funny on Patreon. The reason is the value in the subscription. Rooster Teeth sponsorship is, I think, only $15 a year, and with it you get content early as well as the sponsor cut videos, which are some podcasts and Let's Plays that you can only watch if you're sponsored. While Kind of Funny requires $5 a month to get the podcast early, plus one exclusive episode of the podcast.
Oh my, fuck you.
I still support Kind of Funny in the traditional way of watching all their videos on YouTube, but until they offer more to Patreon subscribers, I'll just stick to YouTube.
Yeah.
So it does seem like some viewers do make a kind of cost-benefit analysis of the content. And say, is it worth the money?
It's actually funny. Just this week, I saw Greg tweet out. He was saying like, go to our subreddit if you want to talk. People are asking us for a forum, and then Gus from Rooster Teeth chimes in and goes, "Get the fuck off Reddit. You need a PHBB board or like some kind of forum."
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, that's so true. Like, if you are, I mean, nothing's wrong with Reddit. Like for us, I think it's fine. But like Kind of Funny, like they're developing basically a club for their friends.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so it's like you probably should have a forum. Like I didn't even think about that. Where I was like, Reddit kind of hurts you because it is free and open to everybody. And if you're making like an exclusive club for all your friends
Yeah.
that they can only get in, like something awful, something like that, where like you feel like you are part of a club, like yeah. So hey, Greg, if you're listening,
That's a really good point.
He's not.
get you. No, God, no. It's far too busy. But
Making his own.
it was cool seeing that. Two guys who I respect talk like that because you're seeing Greg grow in that way, and then Gus, who's been doing this for a decade, basically say, hey, you should do this, not that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah. On that note, one of the things that I thought was that might be a problem with that is you're asking viewers to go to different destinations than they already go to.
Right.
So if they already go to Reddit or they already go to YouTube, to me it seemed like it would be very hard to convince people to put in a new bookmark in their browser. But there was a particular comment that addressed that specifically. Gurkle, he or she said, here's my main point of view. Very often I go on YouTube only to watch Inside Gaming, and then if I got more time to spend, I start watching something else. For me, and for I think lots of other guys out there, this will not be a problem to go to separate websites to watch the show. It will not change my day schedule because I must go to Inside Gaming website. English is getting a little broken up. Only change I must make in the scenarios to add a new bookmark in my browser. Also, I love you guys.
He's losing transmission. The cell phone's cutting out.
I can't hear you.
I think English may or may not be his first language, but Regardless, thank you for the comment.
That's gonna suck if he's like, I'm from
I
San
know.
Diego.
He's like, I'm in Florida.
Move out of Florida. And also, he also kind of makes the point that if a viewer is engaged enough, they will follow you wherever you want them to go.
Oh my god.
How did you live?
That was MLG Mega Man.
Jeez, man, fucking die.
Yes, I see what he's saying, but at the same time, he sounds like a pretty hardcore individual, and thank you for being hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Apparently, we're the
You gotta go down.
I know.
we're the
I don't know what to do
Jesus
there.
You have
Christ.
to wait
I
until
know,
you
I
get
know.
low enough.
I'm
Fuck
aware of
you,
what to do.
Pharaoh, man.
No, but yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to
Sorry,
execute.
I was gonna say, yes, that's awesome for the hardcore individual like that, but as we've learned, as we're saying, marketing you want to hit the widest market as possible by putting a male protagonist in your game. Well, just basically what we were saying earlier, you want to make it as easy as possible for people, especially if you're marketing yourself as a service, something like that. Which, if you want to have sex with Spool, we are doing that now.
What?
Yeah, we're selling his body.
What?
For $10 a month, you can do whatever you want to his
Unlimited
little body.
access.
$10, that's it?
Well, multiple people will sign up.
Yeah, it's a lot of money once you
And
count
then
it all.
They
It's
just
a-
book up like 15
But I
minute
have to have
slots.
sex with all.
It's a honey
If
pot.
they want
yeah.
to, I mean, we don't know that they want to have sex with you.
Well, why would they pay $10? if
Well,
they want?
maybe they want to put things in your butt.
so Spool, do you know? Spool, do you know how like a gym works?
I've never done that.
So gyms are basically something like 80% of all gyms are funded by the people who don't
Inactive
go.
subscribers.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, the number was something like all the gym is basically funded by 80% of the people who don't use their membership.
yeah.
And it's people who pay out of like guilt, where they're like, well, if I have it,
Then I can say I have.
then I can say I have a gym membership, but they don't use it. So
Oh my
not everyone's gonna have sex with you, but they're gonna pay for it.
Also, those people are dumb.
But the guys who do use the service, the
my
Spool
gosh.
sex service,
Like, oh.
they're gonna wreck you. It's like James on a squat rack.
They're gonna mess you up.
I did squats today.
I don't like where this is going.
I did squat Saturday and I hurt. I hurt bad.
You
One
guys
final
are signing
community
checks you
highlight
can't cash.
Oh, you're gonna catch
We should do fan art. We're getting close to an hour here.
Yeah, you're right. Well, let's do this one. I'll read this one real quick. Then we'll go.
Okay, yeah.
Whoop.
All right, Gaming Taylor writes, "No, I would not subscribe to a content creator. I've always
He's
had
like,
the
I hate you.
You're terrible. Why am I here?
Well, it gets worse. Hold on. I've always had the mentality that videos should be created for fun and that no viewer should have to pay for your content.
Wow.
However, I would like to see more crowd-funded YouTube, like some Twitch channels, where you can donate to help out your favorite channel. I personally get very annoyed when we are told we are expected to like, subscribe, favorite, watch ads, buy sponsored products, and share content. If I want to support you, I should be able to directly send you money. I hate subscribing as well, but they feed on people who forget to unsubscribe. So good news for you, Gaming Taylor. Some YouTube channels do have a donation option. In fact, we do.
Yeah.
But yes,
It pays for that sex thing I was talking about earlier.
That is the best scenario, isn't it? That nobody should be forced to, because that raises the barrier of entry.
Right.
But if you do watch the content and you feel it's higher quality than you were expecting, or that you would like to support the further creation of that content, then you can elect to send money in whatever amount you wish. And it seems like, in a matter of speaking, that is what the people on Patreon are doing. They've seen Greg Miller's content and the rest of his crew, and they want to support him. And so that's their method of donation. So it's an interesting give and take.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at some fan art.
Just
I know. Man, Spool just had a seizure on the
oh
controller.
man.
So Dead Walking Chick at DeviantArt has been just going nuts.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Incredible fan art. James's expression here is just so beautiful.
I
Oh,
love when people do us so cartoony, but they get our details just
that looks nice to
perfectly.
be a mural.
What gets me about this is this is one of the few fan arts where none of these expressions are drawn from an obvious source.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the artist just knows your face.
Yeah, she's
and knows how to
seen
draw.
us enough.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
I feel sorry for her.
Sees you in her sleep. Drew like father, like
Oh
androgynous
man,
son.
this time is magical. I put that in subreddit. It is literally magical.
Aw.
He's so dirty. He's got a little dirt mark.
And yeah, I know some people were asking. They're like,
Sandals.
"Are we're gonna bring back The Sims?" I left a pretty lengthy comment about the state
I saw
of
that.
that. So if you want to see that, that's on the subreddit. But
Give me the
what's the
TLDR.
basically what I said is when I'm starting to notice.
The game's not fucked.
Well, I'm saying the way we play games. So like when it's Bruce, myself, and James, it kind of has to fit a certain criteria what the game is. And The Sims is just like worn out its welcome. But I'm not against like just sitting down with Lawrence or James or Bruce, like just one other person or like maybe a smaller group person, or like just playing it off in the background having people coming in and out and just kind of like doing like a weekly check-in of like what's going on, but not devoting a full hour or a live stream to it.
Well, I've pitched as doing it as a podcast game a couple times.
That's a good idea.
Mostly ignored. But
Well, I mean, we can do it at
because
some
then
point.
it's not. It's just kind of there.
So Sims isn't dead, and they're gonna do so much DLC, but like
That's another thing. What would you have us do?
Don't kill that guy.
Lawrence,
There, do that.
Lawrence gets mad at us for not playing it correctly, and so I'm just kind of like, well, just let Lawrence play it. He knows what he's doing
Well, I've
more
never
than we
played
do.
Sims 4. It's just in
It's so different.
It's the same shit.
Same shit, different name.
Typically in Sims, the magic comes from treating it like sea monkeys. Like you just watch them be idiots and then.
Yeah,
But
which does not work with my
Yeah.
fingers.
Well, and also apparently in Sims 4 they just don't do anything. They'll just stare at a wall.
Seems like it.
Well, you have to train them.
All right,
to-
let's keep going.
Sorry,
All
keep
right.
going. All right. And then the final
Don't talk
one,
about Sims anymore.
final piece of work from Dead Walking Chick is some
Oh, yeah.
Game Beats game.
Yes,
This is another one where our expressions are
Yeah, right.
just drawn.
man.
And I like
So cool.
Bruce's pose.
Look at Adam's hat. Look at Adam's
Oh,
hat.
Fez.
Oh yeah. Those are so good.
He's got the tail.
I desperately want to get myself one of those costumes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Next time we play Gang Beasts, we should wear the outfits.
I want
Next pack?
to go to PAX or
It's
something
so
and
intense that
cosplay
it's
as
got
Gang
like
Beasts.
it's got like stress lines all the way up your chest. That's how much
Wow,
it's
look at
dragging
all
the
that.
fabric.
Yeah.
It's the weight.
It's about one or
Like
two
a block
sizes.
a block of salami hanging in there.
Yeah. I like that the bicep and tricep are basically the
Oh,
same size.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Lord
Oh
Tom.
yeah,
Cortana.
guys, Jack.
For my birthday.
Man, I know you look so good.
I gotta live
Holy
up to this
shit.
now.
Jesus.
I'm working out after work. I gotta look like this in like a year.
Man,
My next birthday, I gotta look exactly like this.
You
Circuitry and everything.
That's an amazing. I can't tell if they took that from somewhere. They drew that, or like it's beautiful.
Well, Hazel has always done amazing fan art, so
Yeah.
Man, it's beautiful.
it's like the son of Dr. Manhattan and Cortana.
Yeah, it really is.
Except your
Except
dick's
with my
I was gonna
missing.
say we can't see your
my
dick.
dick's missing.
Well, you're tucking it in, so you're kind of doing the.
If you're listening, feel free to draw a version where his legs are spread and we can see his digital dick hanging down.
I was gonna say it's like
this digital dick.
I would say
I
it's
want
like
to.
it looks like
It isn't about you all the time.
I think he's doing the Buffalo Bill thing.
Yeah.
He's just dancing.
And if there's a version out there where he isn't necessarily, send it on. Send it on over.
Send it on through.
We should start an NSFWIG subreddit.
Lawrence subreddit.
Yes.
Whoa!
Oh my
I
god.
tried to fist bump and I smacked it.
I'm
down.
really excited about that.
A guy
Don't
from-
distract him.
A guy from Pleven on Reddit threw the
Oh yeah,
console purge.
I'm killing
great
consoles
console
for
purge.
some reason.
Yeah.
You came up with that in the QA.
I did.
Yeah.
Remember? It's
Like
like,
we said,
I did. I forgot about that.
It was like 2 QAs
I don't know
ago.
where I am anymore.
James is keeping a list. Just like that you're in like speedos and socks.
I know. Well, that's about what I would wear
It's a
if I did
Wednesday
that.
ensemble.
Yeah,
right there.
exactly.
And then we're just going down the list, make sure
Reddit
he's got it
user
all.
JD959.
Oh,
Just kind of cutified you
it's
guys.
like kind of looks like Doug.
what's the song? I don't care.
Do,
Doesn't
do,
matter. Doesn't matter. Don't matter. As soon as I asked a question, I didn't care.
What I like was,
You and Bruce look distinct for the first time.
Oh, you're right.
yeah,
Adam has Adam hair, Bruce has Bruce hair.
I got a couple little freckles there. It's good. I like that it was done on a whiteboard too. It's like a dry erase.
Oh yeah. There's some classroom out there that has.
And look, you're
Bullshit all over
smiling.
it.
Some teachers like
Yeah,
stop
Adam
drawing
is
those
smiling.
Yeah, Adam,
homosexuals.
you're happy.
Adam, you have a soul for once.
Nah, that's
That's
probably
inaccurate.
just that's the lighting.
Take it off the podcast.
all wrong.
All right, I'll cut it out. Red user Maximus drew Hobo James.
Oh yeah, Hobo James definitely jerking off. By the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just cut cut away the bottom of the pocket
Absolutely.
and
I've
you
seen
get right
that
in
move
there.
here on the street.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely jerking off.
No one has a what is it? A bindle order? Those don't exist.
Joel knows the name.
He's just got a jar of pickles and peanut butter in there.
Ew.
Good for the month.
Floats the windows and
Protein, it's good protein.
housewives are making
Another
pies.
can of anchovies. Eat the can.
Oh, somebody drew this on a test.
Red user Sager Truth did not do his or her homework and instead drew me eating Bruce.
Nice.
What the fuck
That's
are those
so
numbers?
cool. That's chemistry.
I know, but
Stoichiometry.
I was like, he's got 3 hydrogens and what? I can't read it. I'm getting PTSD just looking at this
Chemistry,
stuff.
yeah.
Reactant mixtures.
Good for them on that
Yeah.
one.
Good for you.
I mean, not good for you. Do your homework.
That belongs
Alexander
in the.
Orange drew the most.
Yeah.
God, I love it.
Man, is
good.
that good?
It's good.
How do they find that picture of us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought we deleted that. I like that Bruce's
my-
belt's coming
my-
off.
my-
What if we all fucking looked like that? How awesome would that be?
Pretty fucking
It'd be-
awesome.
Squat rack.
The squat rack's not gonna get us looking like
I've been
that.
pitching that we should just get a squat rack, and then we'd just fucking do QA from the squat rack. Live from the
think-
squat rack.
Oh, and then also there's creepy
know.
Lawrence in the
Yeah.
background. You can barely see
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Creepy Lawrence.
Yeah, he's very happy
Closet.
about what's going
He's
on.
saying something. He's saying fat, fat, fat.
Yeah,
Saying I'm making.
I think James's belt says sex machine.
Yeah, it does.
And then Bruce's belt's coming off, and I have a
Pants
giant,
falling off.
I have a giant vein on one pec.
Yeah.
Just one.
Jesus,
I want to see a solid Pekovic down
Yeah,
there.
Oh,
Air was
my.
wrecked.
Oh, it's
yeah,
Batman.
This one's badass.
it's everything.
Holy shit, it is everything.
It's
Back
Totoro.
Whoop, with a
This is so
attack
good.
Totoro on a line.
Jesus,
The only thing about this is proportionally your head is just a teeny bit small.
that's how you do anime
I
characters.
know
Because
it
his
is,
muscles
yeah.
are so big.
Yeah, you're so huge, you're so jacked. It sucked the water out of your head.
My
Man,
God,
you
yeah.
are jacked.
I don't know if that Batman drawing came from somewhere else, but if that's original, I mean, it looks original, right?
That does.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Fits the rest of the
The
drawing.
detail is ridiculous.
Like the styling on Totoro is the same as on Batman.
It was like
so-
they were already drawing Batman.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's add
How can I fuck up this awesome drawing?
I was gonna say, like, I feel bad. Like, my head ruins
Little eye
Batman. Like, what could have been a really awesome Batman drawing.
Damn, that's
nice
ridiculous. That's so good.
but
That is so good.
I'm thankful
and
nonetheless.
it's just like on notebook paper too, which is insane.
Oh, baby spool
Yeah.
sliding down the stairs.
Yeah, that was from the last one, right?
Illustrated Spool's method of descending stairs.
Yeah, although he realized that he drew it backwards because I slid down legs first.
I
Right,
prefer
'cause
you
you
sliding
want-
down head first.
I know, yeah, we don't want.
But
This is a better angle for art's sake.
it is.
Sometimes you have to take, you have to suffer for your art.
Yeah. It's like how Spielberg
there you
changed Jurassic Park from the book to be more of a better movie.
There you go. Joey Fogey
Ooh, careful.
drew IG Crew.
Wow. Oh wow, we're all
DC style.
yeah. Bruce's Red Hood,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
I was
that's
trying
what
to
I
place
am.
that
I was
for
trying to figure that
and then
out.
yeah, James is Nightwing, and I'm Batman. Thank you.
Well done.
I love that people make me Batman. That makes me so happy.
Oh, spool!
Nerd!
Joshua Fetzer. Oh, god damn this trackpad. Drew
This one's awesome.
Whoa.
the whole lineup,
That is really cool.
which is one of the few times that like all of us are in the same image.
They usually leave out one person, like they have one least favorite
always-
person, and they're like, I hate
Always one
him,
passive
I'll leave him
aggressive
out.
omission. So it's actually not all of us because
Matt Peak?
Missing Matt Peak.
never on camera. Matt Peak is not here,
Oh,
but
that's true.
But ever vigilant.
That's kind
Well,
of my
Always
technically
here.
he is there. As he appears on the channel.
He's behind the art, working hard.
that's
Yeah.
true. Lacus Konya drew Bagkovic.
Wait, no, that's Bruce.
I think that's me.
Oh, Pico.
Oh,
Oh, that
Pico.
one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is Kovic.
That's totally me.
The stubble.
Got a little beard on the bag.
Yeah, I was curious though. Is this like a image that may have existed before?
You had a bag on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
head
yeah,
in the
in the
Q&A.
Q&A.
Holy shit!
Yeah, no,
Oh my
Combination of a
god.
lot of things. It's starting like it's starting
People
to
are
evolve.
smarter than we are.
Yeah, really. You guys
This
are
is something I
meta.
learned.
Holy fuck. You're a better fan than I'll ever
Catch
be.
way more references and like.
Oh, nice, Joshua.
Massimiliano number 5 kind of has a weekly submission. It's Bruce shouting nerd so hard that it's getting into his shirt.
Bet. That's what
You
I
should
do.
get that shirt made.
I really should. You're right. Just says E-R-D-S.
Like
at some
right
point.
down here.
Yeah, all the way.
Why do you have an E shirt? No, you have to look down here. Birds. What does that mean?
Yeah, what's hers?
But he has that face.
Yeah.
Man, you're fucking awesome.
You have to have that fixed.
That's it. That's the face he makes when he has to explain his shirt to someone.
Sandra finished her lineup with.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Joel.
What's with the dirt? What's with the dirt on Spool's
They
face?
had her, so she put out a version that didn't have that.
No, this is the better version. I don't
And
care.
then, and then everyone was like, "Where's his creepy mustache?"
Well, there it
They
is.
didn't have it in the source
Joel,
picture.
I remember when Joel responded. He said, "I better be waiting for lobster."
Wait, what? Where did that
Because
come
he looks
from?
like he's waiting for food for some reason.
No, he's definitely waiting. He's waiting for food. He has a napkin and
Yeah, he does.
I request only one update that he makes a bigger bib with the lobster.
lobster
on
on
it.
it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be adorable. Smosh Lover 007, a little birthday gift.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
I got polygonified, which
It's,
is
You're Lawrence Headroom.
Yeah, I was gonna say originally I thought he was just the Dire Straits music video.
That's how you do
also
that.
good. Some little splooge there, right under my chin.
Ew.
That's where the splooge goes.
Gross.
We knew that.
The Dragon Mate. Ooh, wow.
Oh,
Why?
no, Spool's jumping the... Oh,
You jump first
movie
and then you
poster?
hold.
oh yeah.
The Gamer's Hope Inside Gaming.
This is such a weird movie.
I can only, for some reason, I can only see Joel at a certain angle.
It disappeared.
Well, it's like a hologram. Maybe it's the monitor.
I like how it just breaks so many copyright laws by just having the Batman logo on the top right.
I'm pretty sure that's not owned.
It's public domain, yeah.
It's a shape, man. It's just lines and curves.
Yeah, Bob Kane died 70 years ago today.
What are you gonna do? Trademark that? Oh my god. All right.
oh yeah, IG cookies.
Third string JV.
Oh man,
So my
I was
question
really
would-
craving cookies when I saw this,
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no.
and I was like, I want to eat myself.
So I'm gonna need some help. I can identify all these.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Lawrence with the glasses.
What's the green one?
I think that's a weed leaf.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
weed
it's
leaf.
full.
Oh, it's spool.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm not a weed leaf.
Sure you're not.
Well, there you are.
Or a 4-leaf clover.
I like how our standard rules of design apply. Joel's face is narrow. Bruce's mustache doesn't touch. Adam looks like he'd rather die.
Look at his little hair.
It's a brand
And I've
standard.
got glasses.
There you go.
Was that Joel's face or my face?
I thought that was
my face
Oh,
because
I
my
guess
hair
it is
comes
you.
from left to right,
Yeah, no.
and then I have
You know what? You're right.
cheekbones.
You're right.
Oh, I don't know.
See, even I was wrong. So my cookie identifying skills are terrible.
Yeah.
And then yin yang tobaku.
Little
boy.
stand-ups. Little
Little-
stand-ups of us.
Oh, look at that!
Those are pretty awesome.
Those are so good.
You should try. Okay, so what he should do is he should travel around the world,
Oh,
just
put 'em-
like a
and
world
put 'em in,
tour, and then take
landmarks.
pictures. Yeah, like with the Great Wall of China behind us and the
great
Eiffel
idea.
Tower.
Also think it
so just do that.
Might be a girl. Could be wrong.
She should do that.
She should
They-
do that.
They.
Bash-
The person in question.
Just don't get us wet because we'll probably
should
fall
do
apart.
I am surprised.
Or
at the
take them
amount of
into the girls'
detail.
locker room. If you're a girl, take them into the
Take
girls'
them,
locker room.
take some pictures.
Set those up.
Take
Take
some
snap
pictures.
some pics of us hanging out in
Yeah.
the girls' locker room.
Don't do that. Actually, don't do that. 'cause
Make
that'll
sure they're
be-
talking about
that's
their
bad.
boobs. Not
Because
that
you'll be young girls. We can't show those pictures.
Well, it
Confirm
can
the
be an
age.
adult.
Don't do
Put us in front of their driver's licenses.
don't do it.
And snap pics. That way we can confirm the age.
And if you guys want to get in a little tickle fight while you're taking the
Nope.
pictures, that's
Don't
fine
do
too.
any of that either.
Maybe record
Background,
video.
you'd have to
Actually,
use a timer.
fold the little guy,
No.
little paper guys down. Get them out of the shot. Don't want it messing up the shot.
Yeah.
Just start.
I got some bad news for you. The
taking pictures.
podcast is over. We're done.
No, it can't be over.
It's done. We're done.
Well, but what if? All right, so just go on to
Well, we didn't beat the game.
Google, search for like naked women, save as, right click save as,
And
send
then
them to
send that
us.
over. Yep.
Send them to us,
I'm gonna hit stop over here.
and that'll save you some world tour tickets.
Cheerleaders exploring their bodies.mov.
Are we done?
There we
Go, I just want to
It's in the corner.
Yeah, you piece of shit. Stopping my. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's just one X factor with all this that hasn't shaken out yet, and I'm very curious to know. But if you have a Patreon and that money's coming directly to you, there's a big number on the internet that is exactly how much you get paid.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
typically, in business, no one knows what anyone else gets paid because it predicates some very uncomfortable discussions and some very bad politics. So I'm curious what will happen when somebody makes a video and they're getting 15 grand a month and it's just them, and they try to paint themselves as like the scrappy dude who's just in the basement. And then everybody goes to Patreon and is like, fuck you, dude, you're set.
Yeah, you're making a shitload of money.
You
But
gotta be-
I think if the content's enjoyable and it's what they want,
Right.
they don't care because
Right.
PewDiePie is the perfect example where he is a millionaire.
Yeah.
But he
Obviously.
comes
But
off as
that's
a
not
pretty.
advertised. That's not
Yeah.
advertised. That's something
Right.
that a lot of people don't know.